I have been using Claude Code for the past 2 months, and while watching it work on real coding tasks, one question kept coming to my mind. You ask it to fix a bug, it reads the code, it edits the file, it runs the build. If the build fails, it reads the error, then it fixes the code again, then it runs the build again, and this continues until the task is completed. So, the question is, how does an AI know what to do next? The answer is not just prompt engineering, the answer is loop engineering. In this video, we will build a very simple AI agent loop using Spring AI, not Claude Code, not a full coding agent, but a small example that will help you understand the core idea behind modern AI agents. We are going to build a simple Spring Boot application. The user will give a goal. Is prepare an employee onboarding checklist. But instead of generating the whole checklist in one response, our agent will work step by step. In each iteration, LLM decides the next action, application executes that action, application creates an observation, observation goes back to the LLM decides the next action again. The loop continues until the LLM says finish. So the flow is think, act, observe, and repeat. That is loop engineering. Since we have already gone through this process multiple times in the earlier videos of this series, I'll keep this part brief. To create a Spring Boot project, simply visit start.spring.io, select the dependencies. For this demo, we are using Spring Web and Spring AI OpenAI Starter. Once you have selected the dependencies, generate the project and import it into your favorite IDE. After that, we will start building our AI agent loop step by step. So before we build the agent loop, let's first define the data that will flow through our application. So every application starts with some input. In our case, the user is not asking a question. Instead, the user is giving the AI agent a goal, and the goal is prepare an employee onboarding checklist. So the first thing we need is a class that represent the user requests. Let's create a second class, which is agent decision. Now let's think from the LLM's perspective. Once the LLM receives the user's goal, it has to tell our application what to do next. We want the LLM to return a structured decision. That way our Java application knows exactly what action to perform. And this is the class that represent the decision made by the LLM. Every decision contains 3 pieces of information. So the first field is thought. So this explains why the LLM wants to perform an action. The second field is the action. This tells Java what needs to be executed. And finally, the input. This contains the data required for that action. So this makes communication between the LLM and Java very predictable. So far, we have defined what comes from the LLM. Now we need to define what goes back to the LLM. Remember, after our applications executes an action, something happens. Maybe the task succeeds, maybe it fails, maybe it produces some useful information. We call that result an observation. And this is the class that represent an observation, right? So think of an observation as feedback. Suppose the LLM asks application to add an item. Application performs the action, then it returns item added successfully. That observation becomes part of the next LLM request. So instead of only knowing the original goal, the LLM also knows what happened in previous iterations. And this is one of the key ideas behind an agent loop. So far, we have created the classes that define the data flowing through our application. Now let me explain this class that actually performs the work. If you have watched my previous videos on Spring AI tool calling, you will notice something familiar. In those videos, the LLM decided which tool to invoke and our application executed that tool. We are following the same idea here. The only difference is that in this video, we are building the loop manually so that we can clearly understand what happens internally. The agent decision object that we created in the previous step is how our application receives the instruction from the LLM, right? So this is the class through which we receive the LLM instruction, right? Now, for example, the LLM might return some instruction. So After getting the instruction, right, application is responsible for executing that action. Now you may be wondering, where did these actions like add item, finish, come from? Don't worry about that just yet. We intentionally define only those two actions to keep the demo simple. In a few minutes, when I explain the loop agent service, you will see how the LLM decides between these actions and how they control the entire agent loop, right? So in this code, what we are doing, right? So we maintain a simple in-memory checklist. Whenever the action is add item, we add the item to that checklist and return an observation. We are returning an observation saying the operation completed successfully, right? And if the action is finished, we simply return an observation indicating that the task has been completed, right? So the important takeaway here is the LLM never executes the work. It only decides what should happen next. Our application executes that decision and return the result. And that separation of responsibilities is one of the core ideas behind modern AI agents. Everything we have built so far was preparation. We have created the request object that carries the user's goal. We have created the agent decision class that represent the instruction coming from the LLM. We have created the observation class that represent the result of executing an action. And finally, we have created the checklist tool executor that actually performs those actions. Now comes the most important part of this entire application. This class contains the agent loop. And if you understood this class, you will understand the core idea behind loop engineering. Before looking at the code, let's first understand the overall flow. First, we define the user goal. Then we ask LLM what to do next. LLM returns agent decision. Application executes the action. It creates the observation. Observation goes back to the LLM, and we repeat this process until it's finished, right? Let's first look at the get decision method. So this method. So before the LLM can decide the next action, first have to tell them what its job is, and that's exactly what prompt is doing. The very first line says you are a simple AI agent, right? And here we are assigning a role to the model. Instead of behaving like a chatbot, we are asking it to behave like an AI agent, right? Next, we provide the user goal, right? This is the overall task agent they have to complete, right? And in our example, the goal is prepare an employee onboarding checklist. Now comes the most important part, the previous observations. Remember the observation class we created earlier. So every time our Java application or any application executes an action, it creates an observation. And before asking the LLM what to do next, we send all previous observations back to it. This gives the model memory of everything that has already happened, right? So without these observations, the LLM might keep returning the same action repeatedly. Next, we tell the model which action it is allowed to choose, right? So for this demo, we have intentionally kept it simple, right? So the model can either add the item in a checklist or simply finish the task, right? If now imagine if we were building a coding agent instead of this simple demo, this list might look like maybe we have to expose the tools like read file, write file, run build, run test, finish, right? And finally, we defined some rules, right? So basically, the you can simply read it, but let me read one or two rules. Add only one checklist item per iteration. Do not repeat items already added, right? So these rules guide the model's behavior. And the last instruction is equally important, right? So we are telling the model to return only the valid JSON, right? So you can see this part, and we have given the example as well. So that model return the JSON, because in Spring AI, we can automatically convert the JSON into our agent decision object, which we are passing this information to the model, right? So we send the prompt to the LLM. The LLM returns the JSON, right? And Spring AI maps the JSON directly into agent decision, right? So the thought, action, and the input part, right? Now let's move to the run agent method. This method controls the entire agent loop. The first thing we do is reset the checklist. Because every new request should start with an empty checklist. Next, we create a list to store the observations. Think of this list as the memory of the current agent run, right? Every action gets executed will produce one observation. Now we define a safety limit max iteration, right? So there is nothing special about the number 8. It's simply a safeguard. If the LLM never returns finish, we don't want our application running forever. So we stop after a maximum number of iteration. Now comes the heart of the application, this loop, right? So this loop is the entire video. Everything else in this class simply supports this loop. Now let's understand this part. So the first thing we do is ask the LLM based on the user's goal and everything that has happened so far, what should I do next? The LLM returns one decision, right? So it returns this decision, nothing more. Next, application executes that decision, right? So it execute this decision. If you observe the flow till now, you notice the LLM never executes anything. The LLM only decides. Our application performs the actual work. After executing the action, we store the observation, right? We simply store the observation. We are storing because this observation becomes part of the next LLM request. It tells the model exactly what happened during the previous iteration, and finally check whether the task has been completed, right? So if the LLM says the task is complete, we stop the loop. Otherwise, we start another iteration and the cycle continues until the goal is achieved. This is the loop engineering in its simplest form. Now let's create a controller class and expose an API, right? So this is very simple and straightforward. So let me run my application and show you the demo. I have started my application and it's up and running. Let me open the Postman and execute this controller endpoint and a goal. So the goal is prepare an employee onboarding checklist. Let me execute it and let's go back to the terminal and see what happens, right? So in iteration 1, so you can see, so it's not a single call, it's a multiple LLM response. It's not a single LLM response, right? It's a multiple LLM response. So iteration 1, 2, 3. So at each step, LLM is telling application to take an action, right? An application take those actions, right, and return the observation back to the LLM. So that based on the previous actions, LLM defined the next action, right? So let's go back to the Postman and you can see. So what are the checklist? So first, prepare new hire welcome email, then set up employee workspace, right? You can simply read all those checklist, right? So this is the loop engineering, and so that is the core idea behind loop engineering. An AI agent does not know every step in advance. It repeatedly thinks, takes an action, observes the result, and decide what to do next until the goal is completed. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends or colleagues, and subscribe to the channel. It really motivates me to create more in-depth content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.